let's start with the travel expenses. The Office of the Secretary of the DNR was allotted in 2023 1.1 billion pesos, and in 2024 it will be allotted 1.173 billion pesos. Now, ang gusto ko palang malaman, paano po nagastos itong 1.1 billion noong 2023? First question. Pangalawang question, ano po ang nagbunga sa mga trips na ito? At pangatlo at follow-up question, meron po kasi ako natanggap na mga reklamo mula mismo sa mga DNR na yung secretary daw po ng DNR ay isang jet setter. This year alone, or starting nung siya po ay ma-appoint, umabot po sa 13 to 14 times yung kanyang foreign trips. Correct me if I'm wrong. Although most of it were official, then if it were official, then ano-ano po yun? Yun muna po ang question ko, Madam Sponsor.
Ito mamang ang OSEC includes bureaus and regions. Ano ba yung bureaus? Okay. The GAA budget spent for travel in 2023 is 1.1 billion. 1.1 billion ba yan? But it includes the travel of the Office of the Secretary, including 4 staff bureaus, namely the Biodiversity Management Bureau or BMB, Forest Management Bureau of FMB, the Land Management Bureau, and the Ecosystems Research and Management Bureau. It doesn't all fall under the Office of the Secretary.
Okay, so ibig sabihin meron pong iba't ibang departamento din ang gumamit
Yes.
sa 1.1 billion. Okay, that's a good answer. Okay. Now, ang sunod ko pong katanungan, ano po yung pakinabang ng taong bayan doon po sa 13 to 14 foreign trips ni DNR Secretary Loizaga?
Ilan?
Like I said, correct me if I'm wrong, kung tama ba yung binigay sa akin info, 13 to 14 trips. Although doon sa 13 to 14 trips, meron ka atang personal trips doon, so wag na natin i-consider yun, maybe 2 or 3. But let's stick with the official trips. Ano po ang pakinabang ng taong bayan doon sa mga foreign trips na madalas daw pong mangyari compare po sa mga previous DNR Secretary na hindi ho masyado nagbibiyay sa abroad? They prefer na magstay na lang dito at mag-ikot na lang po sa ground, mag-inspeksyon at tutukan po yung mga problema sa iba't ibang region.
United Nations, all foreign trips were official.
How many foreign trips?
5 or 6, I'm just confirming.
Oh yeah, you just list down.
United Nations.
Can the DNR Secretary, can we put her under oath if she says 5?
We will suspend the rules if she's going to answer. You want?
Kasi pag sinabi niyang 5, nope, I don't think nagkamali po yung mga source ko. Let's put her under oath na talagang panindigan niya na
5 ilan? 6, 5?
I don't think so. Hindi lang po 5.
I think
Hindi
that
lang po
sinasabi
6.
niya
Hindi
yung
lang po
kanyang
7, 8, 9,
ibang
10.
trip personal. So it's not charged to the only
5 trip personal, sabi po nung aking source, lahat yun ang ginamit niya yung kanyang diplomat passport. So kung diplomat passport ang ginamit niya, it has to be official. Kasi doon sa mga trips na binigay sa akin ng tipster ko from the DNR people alone, 2 beses lang niya ata nagamit yung kanyang personal passport. So karamihan daw doon ay puro diplomat passport. Kasi kung sasabihin niyang 5, then let's put her under oath, Mr. President.
Okay. So there are 5 trips for the United Nations, the Asia Pacific Ministerial Conference for Disaster Risk Reduction, Number 2 is United Nations Framework on Climate Change. Number 3 is
Biodiversity Conference.
United Nations Biodiversity Conference in Montreal, and then
United Nations Water in New York.
United Nations Water in New York, and
United Nations Sustainable Development
United Nations Sustainable Development where?
in New York.
In New York also.
Then United Nations Sendai Framework. One more. Sendai Framework.
Sendai Framework, UN in New York.
Then Japan and Washington, D.C. Official.
All Sendai Framework in New York, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and Japan and Washington D.C.
7.
all official trip.
How about yung trip niya sa Abu Dhabi and sa Dubai?
That was recently po.
Mr. President.
Abu Dhabi and Dubai are both.
Was it personal or official? Kasi yung sa Abu Dhabi and Dubai, sabi ng aking source sa DNR, ang ginamit po doon ay yung diplomat passport.
Pre-conference. Katatapos lang po ito. United Nations.
And Egypt as well.
Egypt is Sharm el-Sheikh. That's COP27. That's the United Nations Framework on Climate Change. Abu Dhabi is the pre-COP conference.
So bakit hindi po binanggit yung Abu Dhabi and Dubai in the first place? So
Recently lang daw eh. It's
Kaya nga, all
Abu
in all.
Dhabi, Dubai, and
The conference was in Abu Dhabi. Okay. And then Sharjah.
So tama ba 13, 14 or less than 13, 14? Like I said, correct me if I'm wrong kasi yung information that was given to me, yan po ay galing sa iba't ibang opisyal sa DNR. So meron sa kanila siguro medyo kumulang, meron sa kanila medyo sumobra. So tinitimban ko ngayon kung ilan yung sasabihin nyo, papayag na ako. Basta't wag lang 6.
Sharjah is Dubai.
For the information of the good sponsor, first time in history na meron tayong DNR secretary na almost every other month bumibiyahe sa abroad.
I would
Yan
like
po yung
to add,
ma'am, let me add. Yan po yung reklamo ng ilang mga taga-DNR mismo sa iba't ibang region na yung kanilang DNR secretary hindi po nila nakikita or bihira nila makita in person para mag-inspection, unlike the other DNR secretaries who goes to the ground para makausap sila at mag-inspeksyon. At yung DNR secretary daw nila ngayon, walang ginawa kundi puro forum lang daw sa mga hotels at mga video calls, video conference, at wala raw talaga pupunta sa ground. Yan po yung comment mismo, sumbong na galing sa mga taga-DNR.
alam ko po
Nakita
nung magka-problema tayo sa Mindoro and dun sa spill, alam ko palagi siya naandun sa Mindoro, di ba? To
How about,
settle
yes.
that.
Okay.
And sinasabi niya, ito daw Dubai, most recent to, kaya hindi niya agad na banggit at hindi pa tapos. Meron pa sa...
Meron pa? Okay.
Hindi, yung Abu Dhabi and parang November and December tong Abu Dhabi and Dubai. Hindi to before.
No, the Abu Dhabi ay nabiyahe na.
Just finish.
Yes.
And then
Yung Dubai, ilang beses nabiyahe na. Ilang beses ba sa Abu Dhabi at ilang beses sa Dubai?
Once lang daw. Yung Dubai is
Sharjah for the international COP.
coming pa, di ba? Yun doon.
No. Na-consume na po yun. Again, I'll put you under oath. Pag sinabi niyo po coming pa lamang.
Of the United Arab Emirates government.
Please don't lie.
Anong month? Tapos na to. Hindi pa tapos to. Itong Dubai.
September yung Sharjah, Dubai.
Okay, sirit na.
Sharjah.
Meron po akong records dito na binigay po ng mga taga-DNR. Andito po lahat kompleto.
Pero ito,
Hindi po 6.
1, 2,
Pero I cannot give it to you kasi confidential po to supposed to be.
4,
Sabi ng source ko, huwag
5,
ipapakita. Of course, hindi ko
6,
papakita. And I respect my
7.
source. Kaya nga yung source ko,
7.
yung isa nagsabi 12, yung isa nagsabi 13. Gusto ko lang ma-verify kung alin ba talaga, 12, 13. Wag lang 6. Siguro tatanggapin ko 10, 11, 12. Wag lang 6 talaga.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 6, 7.
8, 9,
Ano
10.
yung pang-8?
Ma'am Alcantis, tapos pakisabi na lang po ito, all are official.
Mr. President, the reason why I'm
we
asking
just
this,
want to,
let me just continue, ma'am.
We
Sure.
just want to
Kasi
say,
we're talking about people's money here. Kaya nga.
Session
Yeah.
suspended for a minute. Ano lang, you guys.
Mr. President, we are just preparing the official list, so we will give it to Senator Tulfo to confirm with his list.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Madam Sponsor. Now, my follow-up question then to that is, pwede ho bang magbanggit yung ating Secretary sa DNR, ano po yung naging pakinabang ng taong bayan doon po sa mga trip niya sa abroad, whether that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mr. President.
Sinasabi po na lahat ng trip na yan is ministerial level. She has to go and she has the approval of the President. Kasi may mga conference na dapat yung Secretary of DNR should go. At meron namang conference na pwedeng mag-send lang siya ng representative. So itong sinasabi niyang trips ay talagang she has to go kasi ministerial, she has to represent the Philippines.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Madam Sponsor. But that didn't answer my question. My question is, again, for the second time, ano po yung naging pakinabang ng taong bayan doon po sa mga foreign trips?
So ito ay
ni,
disaster risk reduction. Another, United Nations is climate change conference, conference on biodiversity.
Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction.
Then another one, invitation of Abu Dhabi for the Sendai UAE, United Arab Emirates, for the disaster risk reduction, and then another climate change conference. The problem with the DNR and even the Climate Change Commission, their conferences are always abroad. Kaya hindi lang DNR ang malimit sa abroad, marami din yung complain na yung mga Climate Change Commission, palagi rin sila sa abroad kasi marami silang kasi ang disaster, this environmental problems, they always require, it's more of not local, it's more of international. Kasi ang mga very active dito sa mga ganitong problema on environment are the foreign countries. It's not as popular in the Philippines. So, from my experience as a practitioner of environment and natural resources, parang ang mas particular dito are the foreigners, hindi yung Pilipinas. In fact, ako yata lang ang mahilig sa Pilipinas na gumawa ng project. Pero marami talaga international. And our benefactors are all foreign countries. Nagbibigay sila sa atin ng fund, ng loans for this kind of projects. Parang very concerned sila about the environment.
So Mr. President,
Kaya palaging foreign. In fact, if you will look at the funds being given to us to promote disaster resilience and this other environmental project, it's always foreign funded. Hindi malaki ang ibinibigay ng foreigners than what we include in our GAA.
okay, Mr. President, Madam Sponsor, so may I get a list of those you did mention about funds that were given to us by foreign countries where our DNR Secretary visited? Okay. And thank you, Madam Sponsor. Thank you, Mr. President. My next question then, nagkaroon ho ba ng policy directions na binigay ang DNR Secretary after her trip abroad? Because that was what the people on the ground, especially yung mga regional directors, were waiting upon the arrival of the DNR Secretary. Nagkaroon ba ng policy changes? Nagkaroon ba ng department order as a result of that na naging beneficial po, hindi lamang po sa DNR main office, sa core group, kung tawagin, kundi maging sa pangkalahatan, so to speak, Mr. President? And,
Mr. President, every time she goes abroad, the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, they have a meeting afterwards with the core group of the DNR, especially the USEC and the Philippine delegation who came with her, and they talk about it in their in the General Assembly and flag ceremony and in the meeting of the group, the managing group of the DNR.
Flag ceremony, that's right. That's exactly what my sources did mention to me. Aside from the conference and the flag ceremony where the DNR Secretary did speak about her trip abroad, ang gusto ko lang po talaga malaman at gusto po malaman ng mga taga-DNR executives sa iba't ibang probinsya ay kung meron po ba yung concrete na policy directions that were given to them in black and white saying na we have to do this because of my foreign trips. Ito po yung nakita ko na pwede natin papakinabangan. Ito yung department order that I have to issue because I found out na we really need this and that, etc. So meron po bang ganon? Yung po kasing inire-request sa akin noong mga lumapit sa akin ng mga taga-DNR. And I'm just telling you what they were asking me. Mr. President, Madam Sponsor.
Mr. President, they said the department says that whatever orders, DNR orders and policies, yung mga nakuha nila sa kanilang foreign trips are incorporated. It's not, hindi na nila sinasabi definitely what foreign conference, but it is included in their formulation of policies and DNR orders to their management and the employees of DNR.
Kaya nga, Mr. President, Madam Sponsor, ayoko na maging makulit. Ang kailangan po, concrete, something in black and white, na nagbunga po sa biyahe ni DNR Secretary Loizaga at siya po ay nakapag-issue ng mga memorandum order or department order or meron pong policy directions given to each and everyone sa iba't ibang region na may mga problema. Yun po yung gustong malaman nito mga regional director. Kasi so far, wala raw po talaga sila tatanggap. Although, tama po yung binanggit ninyo sa flag ceremony raw, doon binabanggit nga pag sa mga forum, sa core group, doon nababanggit yung foreign trips. Ang gusto kasi malaman ng mga taga-DNR mismo, saan na yung makikita namin na nagbunga yung kanyang foreign trips. Kasi po medyo nagtatampo po yung mga opisyal sa DNR na
mga financial technical support.
Wala silang napapala doon sa foreign trips na pwede naman i-delegate kung tutuusin. Siguro may advice to the DNR Secretary next time, paki-delegate na lang po siguro sa inyong mga matataas na opisyal dyan sa DNR, yung mga foreign trips mo. Baka pwede pagtuunan nyo na lang po yung mga problema sa DNR na mamaya babanggitin ko kung ano-ano itong mga seryosong problema na pwede yung tututukan versus kayo po yung mag-abroad. Yan po ang aking humble, unsolicited advice. Base po yan sa request ng inyong mga kasamahan sa DNR.
Mr. President, they have done policy reforms because of these conferences with regards to water. They push for the creation of the Water Resources Management Office, and they also gathered financial and technical support for their environmental projects. We have here the funding for projects not covered by GAA, Memorandum of Understanding with the Japanese and U.S. government, Global Environmental Facility with EU under the Green Economy Program, and the ADB and World Bank support. These are the things which they got because of their representation in the conferences abroad.
Thank you, Mr. President, Madam Sponsor. Para mas mapaiksi tayo, mapabilis, ang hinaing kasi ng mga regional directors or people doon sa grounds, especially sa mga provinces, imbis kasi one of the reasons kung bakit pupunta sa abroad, yung DNR Secretary natin, siguro is climate change to mitigate the effects of climate change, etc., etc. Why don't we go to the basics? Siguro tutukan na lang natin yung mga problema tulad ng pagtatanim ng mga puno, yung National Greening Program, hindi po natututukan yun. Meron po tayong 2-point-something billion every year budget for that. That will be my next question. Anyway, let's move on na po.
With regards to the National Greening Program.
Mamaya na po yun, Madam.
Can I answer that?
Okay,
the National Greening Program. With the National Greening Program, I have asked them to assign the greening program, except the one for yung mga native yung for the IPs, to transfer them to the legislated protected area. Kasi every legislated protected area in the Philippines have what you call protected area management board. So the protected area management board is composed of, if there's a senator there, congressman, the mayor, and the representative of the barangay, the NGO, and the DNR. They are the ones who compose the Protected Area Management Board, and they supervise the activities in the legislated protected area. So I asked them to transfer, kasi palaging question do sa National Greening Program, saan ba nag-green? Ito, kung nilagay mo sa legislated protected area, which numbers 114 in the Philippines, covering 4.5 million hectares, maituturo mo na doon inilagay yung mga National Greening Program, and it will be managed by the Protected Area Management Board, except yung para sa IPs, kasi not necessarily yung mga IPs nakatira sa protected areas. Yun ang aming strategy sa greening program. We know that it is very important because it is the solution to our problem with climate change. Kasi yung climate change nagiging mainit, so dumadami yung tubig, minsan kailangan may mga puno para makontrol yung pag-flow ng water from the mountains to the people. So yun ang tawag niyan, reforestation, and taking care of the forest para ma-mitigate ang climate change.
Thank you, Mr. President and Madam Sponsor. FYI, yung binabanggit niyo po kanina, Madam Sponsor, yan yung pang 6 topic, nasa 1 pa lang tayo. We will go to that.
Okay.
Extensively,
and,
I promise.
We want also to tell you what are the local trips of our DNR chief. Meron
trips.
silang MANCOM sa Clark, tapos multi-sector forum sa Mindanao, sa Visayas, Mindoro Oil Spill, Palawan El Nido, Siargao, Pag-asa Island in Palawan, Puerto Princesa, Baguio, Iloilo, and Bataan.
Okay. Well, pinag-usapan na natin yung local trips. Nung second or third quarter this year, the DNR Secretary was expected to visit Nueva Vizcaya. In fact, after Nueva Vizcaya, she was set to go to Santiago City, Isabela. Hinihintay po siya ng mga taga-DNR doon sa Santiago at hindi po natuloy. But anyway, you can deny it if you want.
May I ask what is the concern of Nueva Vizcaya and
Oceana
Isabela?
Oceana Gold Mining.
Oceana Gold Mining.
She was set to visit Oceana Gold Mining. Kasama po yung may-ari ng Oceana Gold para doon sa expand nung permit ng Oceana Gold. But anyway, mamaya po ulit yan. Nasa pangatlong topic yan. Nasa first topic pa lamang po tayo. Oceana Gold. Mag-helicopter pa ata si DNR Secretary kasama yung may-ari ng Oceana Gold na Australian-Canadian.
Oh.
According to my source. Kaya lang,
But
hindi na
the secretary decided not to go.
not to go. Okay. So, bakit po sana kayo sasama?
Medyo controversial din kasi ang Oceana Gold.
Exactly.
Ayaw ng local government
Ayaw.
dyan. Eh.
Pero nakaschedule na po sana yon.
Siguro, ayaw din ni Secretary na maging masabi na kasama niya yung Oceana Gold and she is supportive of Oceana Gold.
In the first place, dapat hindi siya pumapayag sa umpisa pa lamang. Sana po hindi na-schedule. Kasi po, naka-ready na po yung mga taga Nueva Vizcaya, naka-ready na po yung mga taga Santiago DNR. Meron pa siyang welcoming committee kung ano pa pong mga ginawa para sa pag-welcome sa kanya. Hindi lang pala tuloy kasi naka-schedule na po yan. Sana, kung alam niyo po controversial yun, tinurn down niyo agad.
Baka yung nag-prepare ng welcoming committee is yung Oceana Gold. Kasi hindi daw niya alam na she has to go to,
Alright.
to
Sige,
that
okay na tayo doon.
place.
Now, let's move on. Alis na tayo sa foreign trips. Let's go to black sand mining.
Saan
Talamak
ito?
po yung black sand mining ngayon sa Pilipinas. Nagkalat po yan sa iba't ibang lugar. Zambales, Cagayan, Ilocos, Mindoro, etc. Now, ang nasisira dito yung river, shoreline, and offshore. Ang pinagtataka ko, Madam Sponsor, why are we not doing anything, the DNR, to stop this? Kasi po, ito po yung modus operandi ng mga operator. Sila lang po kumikita rito at hindi po kumikita yung ating bayan. Pinapalabas na quarrying and dredging. So therefore, all they need is a permit from the LGU para sa tinatawag nilang dredging para mapalawak yung river. Pero wag ka, nagbablock sand mining na pala sila. At marami po silang nakukuha na black sand at itong pinakamatindi. Yung pong mga mangingisda nga natin, tinataboy na po sa West Philippine Sea ng Chinese Coast Guard. Nag-encroach na po sila sa ating teritoryo sa West Philippine Sea. And now yung ating mineral at natural resources tulad ng black sand, dinadala natin sa China because a majority of this black sand mining goes to China. At ang kumikita lang, China and the operator, and the government doesn't make a single penny, except of course sa LGU na nabibigyan ng bahagi dito sa pamagitan ng taxation and of course pagkukuha ng permit. Kaya lang ginagamit nga kanina, sabi ko, quarrying and dredging. That's the modus operandi. So,
gusto lang ho sabihin ng DNR sa inyo that the DNR never issued government permit with this. It's the local government ang nag-issue ng local permit.
Mr. President, Madam Sponsor, I did not say the government. I said the LGU.
Yes.
Kaya nga, ang gusto kong mangyari sana, kung talagang pro-environment po ang ating DNR Secretary, then I challenge her na mag-issue na po ng Department Order to stop this kabulastugan na minimina po ang ating black sand dito sa Pilipinas at dinadala sa China. Why don't we put a stop to this? Can you do that?
Sila po ay nagpunta na sa Pag-asa Island to establish the Philippine DNR presence there to increase our monitoring of this black sand mining. So, ipinapromise po sa iyo ng DNR that they have made the presence felt and they will try to stop this black sand mining.
Is that right?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Hindi nga. Hindi nga. Walang biroan po. Mr. President, Madam Sponsor, totoo ba? Hindi ba kayo nagbibiro? Kasi kapag kayo po ay panindigan yan, sasamahan ko po kayo. Lantarang po nagkakaroon ng black sand mining dyan sa Zambales. Alam ko po yung mga site. Gusto niyo po bukas na bukas, puntahan po natin yun at mapapahiya po ang DNR. Puntahan
Hindi
po natin
po.
yung site sa Cagayan at puntahan po natin yung site sa Ilocos, sa Mindoro, mapapahiya po kayo. Sabi niyo monitoring, puro na lang monitoring. Ang gusto ko po, hindi monitoring, implementation, hulihin kung talagang ayaw niyo po magkaroon ng black sand mining. Huwag yung po puro monitoring kasi madaling gamitin yung salita monitoring. Ang sa akin po, dapat meron pong aksyon. Na yung sinasabi niyo, na wala kayo nakikita, then tomorrow,
Hindi, may nakikita sila, alam nila. Kaya lang, ang nagbibigay ng permit is yung local government.
I know.
And supported by the local government.
exactly, Mr. President.
Gusto nila na tulungan sila ng DILG kasi ang i-kontrolin mo yung local government.
Exactly, Mr. President, Madam Sponsor. Dapat mag-issue ng MPSA, yung Mineral Production Sharing Agreement, nang sa gayon makinabang po yung ating gobyerno, yung ating bayan. And then magpalabas ng Department Order ang DNR na kailangan may MPSA ang lahat na nagba-black sand mining, aka quarrying or dredging, at kapag halimbawa hindi po sumunod at patuloy pang ginagawa yon, so implementation-wise, pwede na pong gamitin dyan yung power ng ating DILG to the PNP para paghuhulihin sila. And we can also use the Bureau of Customs because yan po ine-export sa China.
Sabi po ng DNR, yung local government, DILG daw, local government ang nag-i-issue ng permit dyan. According to the rules, 5 hectares and below, local government. Sila daw, wala pa silang nai-issue permit dyan. It's always the local government.
Thank you, Madam Sponsor. Thank you, Mr. President. Then in that case, meron po dyan sa Zambales na more than 5 hectares, then bakit hindi nyo po puntahan yon? Ang point ko rito, kung talagang pro-environment ang ating DNR Secretary, mag-issue siya na Department Order, I challenge her, na saying there is now an order putting a stop to all black sand mining. Blah, 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 blah.
They cannot daw stop 5 hectares and below. They can only stop yung more than 5 hectares because it is the power of the local government to issue 5 hectares and below. So if it can be determined that it's more than 5 hectares, then they can stop it.
Go to Zambales and you can see that.
Baka ginagawa po nila, ini-issuehan nila pa 5 hectares para under the DILG. Tapos hindi, iba-iba ang pangalan.
Okay
kasi,
nga. Mr. President, Madam Sponsor, so alam niyo yung modus. So alam niyo pala yung modus, so bakit di niyo po buwagin yung modus na yan? Kayo po mismo nagsabi from your mouth na iniiba-iba yung portion, hinahati-hati.
So they promised to work with DILG and DPWH to be able to enforce that.
But for the meantime, Mr. President, Madam Sponsor, mag-issue ng Department Order ang DNR kung talagang pro-environment sila, stating na yung black sand mining is illegal from now on at wala na pong magba-black sand mining dito sa Pilipinas using the pretext na yun ay quarrying or dredging. At yung mga hindi sumunod ay huhulihin because right now, like I said for the second time, ini-export po ito sa China. Anay kinabang po yung China.
Alam naman natin lahat yan.
Exactly, alam po natin yan, Madam Sponsor.
But,
so what are we going to do about it kung alam na natin
So
yan?
they will issue daw a department order prohibiting black sand mining according to the law.
Yes,
and then,
according to the law.
kung halimbawa magpalusot yung local government, then they have to coordinate with DILG and DPWH to stop that practice of the local government. Common knowledge naman po na talaga may gusto nito local government.
Good. So, if I heard it right, sabi po ninyo, Madam Sponsor, Mr. President, so mag-issue na po Department Order ang DNR banning black sand mining in the Philippines.
Okay.
Did I hear it right?
Yes.
Okay, very good. I'll take your word for it. And gusto ko pong makita yung pong ipapalabas yung Department Order. Give me a copy of it. And everybody's going to be happy. Even the Filipino people. Okay, let's move on. Foreign trips, black sand mining. Okay. And
kayo, babariling ko na kayo.
Saan niyo pong gustong unahin ko? Oceana Gold o National Greening Program? National Greening Program.
Oh, National Greening, di ba sinagot na kita?
Hindi pa po. Hindi pa po. Masyadong bitin po yung sagot.
O sige, at magtanong ka tungkol sa National Greening. Ako
2 billion.
very particular ako sa National Greening
good.
because I practice it.
Yes. Nice. 2 billion pesos annually ang budget po para sa National Greening Program since 2011, if I'm not mistaken. Ang gusto ko pong malaman ngayon, ay bigyan po tayo ng audit report tungkol po doon sa mga natanim na yung before and after, maybe a drone picture. Before, na nagtaroon ng pananim, and after. And I need to see na talagang yung at ilang percentage ang mga tinatanim na similya ang naging successful at tumutubo at nagiging puno.
Yung National Greening Program po, 1.2 billion iniwan natin sa IPs kasi sinasabi nila meron silang talagang program with the IPs ay ayaw naman nating apihin yung mga IPs. And at the same time, nilipat natin sa ating legislated protected area and the rest of the budget. Ngayon po nag-devise kami ng way how to manage the legislated protected area kasi hindi po nila kayang i-finance lahat yung protector ng legislated protected area kasi ang budget nila maliit. And besides, from my experience, yung mga nagbabantay, minsan bantay sa lakay din yun eh. Oo. Kaya we have devised a way that they will build a headquarter na may drone na i-operate ng DNR dun sa mga legislated protected area. Remember, some legislated protected area are very big. So, ido-drone na lang at mare-record dun sa printing ng mga ng drone para makita natin. And kung maging successful kami dito, pakikita sa iyo, Senator Tulfo, yung product ng drone, kung ano yung... Kasi we want to monitor what's happening in the protected area. So naisip namin na drone technology na lang kasi mahirap yung magbabantay. Minsan kasi yung nagbabantay, bantay sa lakay. Oo. So mag-create sila ng each protected area and office, may mga equipment sila, tapos ido-drone, tapos mare-record dun sa mga equipment dito sa kanilang headquarters for the legislated protected area.
Thank you, Mr. President, Madam Sponsor. Ang kailangan ko po ay yung pong before and after na picture. Kasi we started it 2011 and then dapat yung target is up to 2016. Yan po ay ma-accomplish na. Marami na pong puno maitanim. And then minove yan up to 2025. Ang gusto ko po ngayon na mismo, right here, right now, provide me a drone picture of the before and after. I understand and I appreciate allocating 1.2 billion para sa IPs, para sila na po magtanim. Pero paano po natin ma-monitor na yung 1.2 talaga ay napunta sa IPs at yung 1.2 billion talaga ay naitanim? Yun po yung point ko. So can we get an audit report? And first of all, let's start to ilang percentage ba doon sa 2 billion na mga tinanim na seeds, whether binigay sa IPs or hindi, ilan doon ang naging successful at naging puno at ilan doon ang namatay, ilang percentage, because based on that, doon natin makalkula kung successful ba itong greening program and para malaman din natin kung talagang merong mga natanim na mga puno. Kasi napakalaking budget to, Mr. President, Madam Sponsor, 2 billion something every single year. So I need a drone picture. Sabi po nila,
meron daw silang satellite picture provided by the NAMRIA and the Forest Management Bureau that there was an increase of 5% from 2011 to 2020 by satellite. So yes, you can ask, I'll ask them to give you the satellite picture of this 5% from 2011 to 2020.
So how many, Madam Sponsor? 5% po ang
5% ang increase ng
5% lang since 2011. It's now 2023 and 2 billion a year ang allocated budget. 5% lang. 2 billion a year and only 5% ang na-meet na target.
Oh. Ang National Greening
kung 2
Program
billion,
daw
11,
po, yung seedlings...
12 years, sorry, Mr. President, Madam Sponsor, 12 years na sa 2 billion each. So how much would that? 24 billion and only 5%
Ilan?
ang na-meet na target.
5%, how many
Mr.
trees?
President, Madam Sponsor, 5%.
So you can...
And then ito po yung average survival ng National Greening Program for 2011.
85%. Sabi nila ang survival rate daw ng seedlings for the National Greening Program is 78%. And nag-increase yung forest cover by 5%. Ibig sabihin, hindi nila nabibilang by trees but yung satellite nakikita, the area increased by 5% from 2011 to 2020.
Still, that's not enough. And yung sinasabi ko po kanina, Madam Sponsor, dapat bago kayo magtanim, pipicturean nyo po through satellite or drone yung pong area na tataniman ninyo. Ito yung area na kalbo. This was before. Okay? Let's say 2016. Ito po yung lupa. And then 2018, ito na po siya ngayon. 2023, ito na po siya ngayon. Yung before and after, bago sana kayo magtanim, dapat pinipicturean nyo po yung pong area na kalbo.
They use satellite.
So dito po sa record, yung forest cover statistics, magkaiba to ha?
Yes, magkaibang.
2015 to 2020 po ito.
Oh, ito.
2010 to 2015.
So from 2010 to 2015, 177,000 hectares ang na-increase ng forest cover. From 2015 to 2020, 212,000 hectares. So a total of 177 at saka 212. For 10 years, it's
5.6.
177, 389, which is about 5%, more than 5%, 5.6% of the forest cover.
Okay, thank you, Madam Sponsor, Mr. President. Madali lang po kasi magbigay ng data, ng
No,
numero.
geotag daw ito, not only pictures, geotag.
Mas maganda po kasi talaga ang picture kasi iba yung nakikita eh. Kailangan po talaga merong clear picture. Satellite man yan o
Meron
drone
kayong
picture ng
satellite.
before and after.
They have daw satellite picture of this.
So can we see that? Yung from the time we started the program, 2011, and then now 2023, what has been accomplished? Dapat papakita po yung before and
We
after.
will submit to you the satellite images from
Okay.
this
So
from
we need
this
to see that satellite-
forest cover na
The before and
na-
after.
Yes, before
Hindi
and
po
after.
yung 5%, hindi po yung mga data.
Oo, yeah.
So kapag hindi po kayo nakapag-submit yan, I will defer the budget.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lahat po ito based sa picture.
They have daw a partnership with the U.S. Forestry Service and they help them to do this satellite measurement of our forest cover. So it's not only DNR, but we have a partner, the U.S. Forest Service.
Ilan percent po ba ang ngayon ang accomplish ninyo? 5% pa lang ba since it was since it
For
started?
10 years, 5
5%.
point,
Percent. So, kailan niyo po
63%.
ma-accomplish yung 100%?
dodoblehin.
So, dodoblein another 10 years. So, 10% pa lang yun. Kasi 5% so far in 10 years. So, another 10 years, 20 years. So, 10% pa lamang. So, hindi pa, yung mga marami sa atin dito, patay na siguro, wala na sa mundong ito, saka pa lang natin ma-accomplish 100%. Kasi 5% every 10 years, so that would be 100 years para maging 100%.
Yung 1 million gaano katagal yung tatapusin? Their target is 1 million hectares for next year. Hopefully daw may mga partners na sasama sa kanila so that they can accomplish more. But yun ang tentative target nila, 1 million hectares.
1 million hectares, and out of that 1 million hectares, ilang percentage yan doon sa target?
No, ang target nila, 1 million hectares.
1 million hectares in the next 10 years?
No, next year.
Next year. Kasi ang sabi niyo po,
they're trying to find partners who will help them to...
So with that 1 million hectares, Mr. President, Madam Sponsor, with that, pag na-accomplish yung 1 year, 1 million, so 100% na kayo sa target?
Hindi pa rin. Kasi ang
No,
total
please don't give me
is,
the figures, 1 million, 2 million. Yung sa percentage lang po. Kasi sabi niyo po, 5% 10 years ago, since 2011, more than 10 years ago. And then I ask you, paano yung succeeding target, sabi nyo, another 5% after another 10 years. So parang lumilitaw sa akin, sa pagkakaintindi ko po, 5% every 10 years. So sa 20 years, 10% pa lamang. Sa 30 years, 15% pa lamang, and so on. So parang 5%
noong
every decade.
2011 daw to 2023, the target area is 2 million hectares. The actual area planted is 2.2 million hectares. So they accomplished 109% from 2011 to 2023.
O naging 100% na, kanina 5%. So ganito na lang po, para mapaiksi tayo at nakakaya naman sa iba, nag-antay na rito yung mga gusto mag-interpret. Give us a before and after na lang po.
Actual area planted. Total planted, not all of them survive. But this is the target planting, and this one is the forest cover. Kasi yung forest cover, hindi nila binibilang yung trees, yung tinitingnan lang nila how the forest cover has increased by satellite.
Well, ang bibilangin po dapat yung mga tinanim, yung mga seeds.
So
na
they
tinanim.
will be submitting the satellite.
Yes, the before and
this.
after po.
Before and
So
after.
before it was
Okay.
planted, and then after the plantation of these trees. So makikita po niya muna kalbo yung area, and then after several years, puno na yung area. And I need the coordinates of that, longitude, latitude. So para pwede yung namin mapuntahan to verify.
Yeah. They will provide the satellite images.
Okay.
They have that.
Very good. Sige. Last question. Sa National Greening Program, meron ho bang budget allocated sa NCR? Meron daw po eh.
Kami po sa NCR, kami na lang ang nagtatanim.
Napo,
Hindi. Kasi alam nyo, mayayaman naman ng mga local government sa NCR. So kung gusto nila talaga, they can spend for
Mr.
it.
President, Madam
Oo.
Sponsor.
Ang dapat bibigyan natin yung mga probinsya.
Madam Sponsor, Mr. President, I'm asking the Secretary, I'm asking kung meron ho bang nakaalat na budget sa National Greening Program para sa NCR. Just answer yes or no po.
$3,940,000 for NCR.
3 million. Okay, 3 million lang. Siguro yan para sa mga ornamentals.
3.9. It's
3.9.
almost 4
I'm just curious, saan po yung 3.9 ginastos sa NCR?
sa NCR. Saan daw
Pwede
nyo
pong makita,
binasta?
mapasadahan man lang. Kasi dito po, madali makita yan eh. Sabi niyo sa
Saan
Pasig, sa
pinakamalaki?
Samba, Quezon City, sa Tondo, sa Payatas, saan po? Give us the location para mabilis po namin makita.
Saan daw dinala tong 3.9 million? Walang planting.
Sa lamesa lang doon po tayo doon sa lamesa.
Nasaan yun?
Mangrove. Nabotas. Lamesa and mangrove lang po. Area natin. Lamesa.
Sa Lamesa Dam daw po dinala yung majority, and at the same time planting of mangrove along I think Navotas and Las Piñas Parañaque Wetland Park.
Okay. Again, can I get a copy of the before and after?
Yes.
At like a
yes,
picture?
they will provide.
Okay, thank you.
And there is a rule in NCR, because I practice it, that if you kasi sometimes gumagawa kami ng kalye, we had to tear down we had to cut trees. I remember I cut 16 trees. I'm required to plant 50 trees per tree nut I cut. So I planted 900 trees in replacement of 16 trees that pinatay ko dahil nagawa ako ng road, ng 500-meter road. And then DNR asked me to donate din sa Lamesa Dam. In addition, dun sa 900 trees na itinanim ko, to replace yung 16 na pinutol to make way for a road. So may mga rules silang ganun na hindi naman lahat sila ang magtatanim. Nire-require din nila yung mga tao na magtanim in replacement of what they have cut. Oo. So may ganung rule din. Kaya hindi lang itong 3.9 ang magagasta. Katulad namin mga private, we have to do it in order to be able to build the road.
Thank you, Mr. President, Madam Sponsor. Let's move on to the political cadastral survey, political boundary survey.
Yeah.
Okay. My question is, 2010 and 2015, nakandak po yung political cadastral survey. Marami pong problema ngayon sa different LGUs, different provinces, cities and municipalities dahil hindi po naging maayos yung pong ginawang pagbigay ng technical assistance ng DNR sa pag-survey. Paano po nyo susolve nitong conflict ngayon, DNR?
From what they gave us as briefer, they will just follow the law. Oo, kung ano yung provision ng law, they will follow it. Like for example, what happened in ano tawag dito, Taguig and Makati, well, they will follow what was yung Supreme Court ruling doon. They will
Yes,
just
I
follow.
understand, Mr. President, Madam Sponsor. Pero habang maaari, dapat maiwasan natin yung dalhin sa korte yung mga kaso para hindi na po humaba. Nag-uumpisa po yan sa mga taga-DNR. And I will mention to you the modus operandi, bakit po nagkakaproblema, nagkakabulbul po dyan po sa Political Cadastral Survey. Ito po dapat ang tinututukan ng ating butihing Secretary ng DNR versus patatravel siya sa abroad na maraming beses. Now, di ba dapat pagdating po sa political survey, but first of all, I'll ask the Secretary, paano ho ba kinakandak yung political cadastral survey sa bawat municipality or province? How is it being done? I want an expert to answer me, please.
Ito, katulad nito.
The process. If I may add, Mr. President, Madam Sponsor,
Yes.
sa ngayon, we have more than a dozen, maybe 50, 60, or even 100 na mga municipalities, cities, and provinces na nagkakaproblema dahil dito po sa maling pagkagawa ng political cadastral survey. So, ang tatanungin ko ngayon, bakit nagkakaproblema? Paano ba yung process para ma-enlighten po yung mga taga-LGU ngayon na nakikinig, maaaring makarinig nito? Because sila po mismo ay nalilito din. The process po.
DNR gives technical assistance to LGUs in the settlement of boundary dispute Usually naman yan, in the creation of the city, may mga provision, tapos meron namang titulo, and they just help in determining the boundary. Meron sila yung land director, yung land management bureau, ito po yung trabaho noon, to help the LGUs determine the political boundary of the area of that particular LGU, and they give technical assistance to LGU.
I know, Madam President, Mr. President, Madam Sponsor, I know
May
that.
basis naman to eh, may
But
basis.
can we get more technical? Kasi yan po yung gustong marinig ng mga taga-LGU. Paano po nag-uumpisa? Paano po ginagawa?
With the coordination with the LGUs, they conform to the
Halimbawa po, say,
of the cadastral
yung
conform
Quirino
sa map.
province, gusto niya pong magpagawa ng cadastral survey. Paano po inumpisahan yon? Let's say, kaumpisa pa lamang.
Susulat sa inyo, di ba?
Sinusunod lang ma'am yung creation.
Hindi nga. Oo. Susulat sila sa DNR to
Okay.
ask for technical assistance,
Okay.
and the Bureau of Land Management Bureau will conduct the survey based on the papers ng pagka-create ng local government. So they are willing to provide the technical assistance.
Based on the charter.
Yes,
that-
charter.
The
Oo.
creation of that municipality or
Basta
province.
sumulat lang sila sa
And who does the survey on the ground?
If we have, pwede nating i-contract out.
they can do it themselves, but if it's difficult, they can contract out. But
Exactly.
but the DNR will pay, di ba?
DNR will pay. Very good. And DNR is a good payer. Now, let's go doon sa kinokontrata, binibid po. Yung pong
Binibid.
pagsasurvey. Tama?
Binibid po.
Exactly. Now, once it's bidded, yung nanalong bidder, bibigyan po ng mga dokumento ng DNR. How is it going to be surveyed, right?
Yes, yes.
And then,
From us.
sino pong gumagawa ng survey at sino mga kasama nila dapat sa pagsasurvey?
Yung Land Management Bureau nga ng
And?
DNR.
And,
Oo.
and,
And then, kung matapos, they will show it to the local government if they agree with the findings.
kulang po. Kulang.
Oh, ano ang kulang?
When they would conduct a survey, let's say Quirino, dapat po yung boundary ng Quirino ng mga ibang probinsya, meron silang coordination sa mga taga-LGU doon at yung po ay mag-observe to make sure na tama po yung ginagawa
That is
nila.
allowed. That is allowed. They can observe. Oo.
Exactly. In this case, karamihan po hindi nangyayari ito. Kaya nagkakaproblema. Dapat, pag halimbawa sa isang province or municipality, magkakandak sila ng cadastral survey, dapat presence on both sides. Yung masasagasaan, yung madadaanan na boundary, yung representative doon, dapat naroroon po
Yeah.
to observe. But hindi po nagagawa ito. And I'll tell you later,
hindi
Mr.
nyo
President,
ba
Madam
yan
Sponsor, kung bakit hindi.
Eh, ba't sabi niya, hindi nyo ginagawa?
Kasi po, minamadali.
In general daw, they follow the procedures. Hindi nila alam lang na kung may nagdi-disobey ng procedures.
Well, then
But,
dapat po. Kaya, Mr. President,
they
Madam
follow
Sponsor,
the procedures.
kaya nga para walang mag-disobey, dapat po meron pong supervisor ng DNR present gumagawa ng quality check. Now, if there is, I need a copy of the ground survey at kung sino yung mga supervisor na pumirma to make sure na he or she was present during the survey. Kasi most of the time, wala. At kapag pineke niyang pirma, pakukulong po natin siya.
Sabi nila, under the supervision daw ng DNR regional offices yung nagkakandak ng survey.
Exactly. That's what I said, Mr. President, Madam Sponsor. Dapat paggagawa ng survey, nandoon yung DNR, yung supervisor, nandoon po yung nagpapasurvey na LGU, at nandoon din po yung mga taga-LGU na nakaka-boundary nung sinasurvey. Nang sa gayon, right there and then, ma-resolve na po yung issue tungkol po sa encroachment. Kasi most of the time, gumagawa po ng survey, let's say, sa isang province, na hindi po nagpapasintabi doon sa mga boundary. So nagkakaroon po ng encroachment. And then later on, nagkakadimandahan na. Samantalang kung nandun sila, right there and then, mariresolve na po agad yung problema sa encroachment kasi pwede sila mag-usap-usap at magpasa sila ng resolution hanggang sa mariresolve po yung issue na hindi na kailangan pumunta sa korte. At hindi po nangyari yan.
Alam nyo, in practice, matitigas din ang ulo ng local government. Hindi ko mo sinabi nila na ganito ang findings, mag-a-agree sila.
Mr. President,
Kasi,
Madam,
syempre gusto nila mas malaki ang area nila as much as possible kahit na mali na. I mean, from my experience sa local
so are you saying
government.
matitigas ang ulo lahat ng mga governors and mayors sa
Hindi naman.
probinsya?
Yung mga nagkakaproblema, medyo i-insist nila yung gusto nila. May ano din sila very assertive din sila, especially in areas where they are
Mr. President,
elected. Oo.
Madam Sponsor, no, I don't think so. In fact, the LGUs, they would prefer na nandun sila present, both sides, para ma-square off agad yung problem. Kung meron man, ma-iron out any kinks along the way habang gumagawa ng survey. Kaso hindi nga raw po sila naimbitahan. Nagugulat na lang po sila, tapos na po yung cadastral survey, samantalang hindi naman po sila napagsabihan. Wala raw pong pasintabi sa kanila. Sila po yung sa boundary nitong ginagawa ng survey, and then malalaman na lang nila years down the line na nagkaroon ng encroachment, nagkakadimandahan. Because
Alam
hindi
nyo,
po nasunod yung
this
tamang
is a
process.
common problem. In fact, in our city, yung boundary ng barangay, pinag-aawayan din. I mean...
Because pumapak po, Mr. President, pumapalpak po kasi yung DNR, it's the fault of the DNR. It's not the LGU. Hindi po dahil matitigas ang ulo ng mga taga-LGU, dahil matitigas po ang ulo ng taga-DNR, dahil meron corrupt dyan sa DNR, and I'll tell you who those people are.
Okay. Alam nyo, corruption is everywhere. It can be in the department, it can be in the local government.
Exactly.
Pare-pareho lang yan.
Kaya nga, kasi
Kaya nga, we have to compromise. Pero sabi daw nila, in most of the cases, nag-a-agree naman. Bihira lang daw yung nag-aaway.
So, give me a list of provinces and municipalities and cities na nagkakaroon po ng problema ngayon sa cadastral survey, political cadastral survey.
They have a list and they will give you a list.
And what is the present status? You will give us a list, right? And what is your
Tinatanong
plan?
niya kung ilan ng ilan.
Ano po yung plano?
Ilan ang may problema. Tinatanong niya, you're asking how many towns and cities and provinces
How many?
which are having problem with their boundaries.
Yes, is it
Diba?
50?
Yun ang intindi ko sa question
Yes,
niyo.
yes, exactly.
Oh, ilan?
Madam Sponsor, Mr. President. Is it 100, 200?
They will submit to you. They cannot give me today, but they will submit to you. Ilan? Approximately ilan? Do you have an idea? Sabi nila at least 10 daw. Pero they will submit.
No, not only 10, more than that. I think 50 or more.
Okay, we will submit.
Okay, thank you.
I-submit mo.
Now, Madam Sponsor, Mr. President, paano po ginawa yung cadastral survey sa Mindanao at saka sa Maguindanao? Kasi I've heard na wala raw pong dumarating doon na mga contractor on the ground para gumawa ng survey, so paper survey lang daw pong ginawa. Kapag meron po nagsabing contractor na he or she was there, kasama po yung mga taga-DNR supervisor, and I would like to see that guy put him or her here at put her or him in under oath.
Sabi nila it was contracted out and the money was downloaded to BARM.
Exactly. Yun nga po sinasabi ko.
Baka hindi ginamit ng BARM. Oo.
Well then,
But the money was downloaded to BARM.
Pero di ba sa patakaran dapat meron pong testigo nagsusupervise mga taga-DNR. Yun po yung patakaran, Madam Sponsor, Mr. President. Nandoon yung taga-DNR nagsusupervise because they are the one who's who's bidding out the contract. So, part sa protocol na they should be there to make sure na the survey is being done physically and not paper survey lang.
Meron daw kasing sariling Ministry of Environment ang BARM. Kaya they have to download it to
Okay.
that ministry.
All right. Let's say, alisin po natin yung BARM. Give me some cadastral survey done in certain parts of Mindanao na hindi po kasama sa BARM.
Ano?
Meron ba? Like Cagayan de Oro?
Region 9, 10.
Region 9 daw, Region 10.
Basta hindi kasama
Yes.
sa bar, meron ba?
Oo, nasa
I need samples of those.
sample daw.
Yes. Bigyan po ako na
Hindi,
gumawa
ayaw
ng
niya
cadastral
nang
survey.
Sabihin mo na ngayon, ba't hindi mo alam?
And then yung mga nakapirma po doon,
O, sino yung sa Region 9? Mag-sample ka daw, Region 9, 10. Sabi mo, magbigay ka ng sample. Walang masabi specific, puro isasubmit. Ayaw niya kasi na isasubmit, gusto niya mag-example. So, yun ang last one. What place? Eh, bakit wala ngayon? Walang nag-question ngayon? After the, eh, sino gumawa ng tali? Oh, eh, kahit na gano'n, di sabihin nyo, yung ba lang ang nangyari? Mag-sample lang siya. Mag-sample lang yun. Mag-sample ayun.
so may Oceano Gold.
In your region. Oh, isa sa'yo. Ano? Hindi nyo alam. Diyos ko. Kaya nagagalit sa inyo. Regional director.
Okay. Para mapaiksi po tayo, isubmit nyo na lang po sa akin, Mr. President, Madam Sponsor,
Payag ba ito na ang last survey nila?
yung mga hinihingi ko pong data so we can move on.
Gusto niya mag-example daw. They're willing to submit
Thank you.
your data that
Thank you.
data you are asking.
All right. Ito po, okay. Thank you, Mr. President, Madam Sponsor. Ito po yung sinasabi kanina kung saan po yung korupsyon sa cadastral survey. After na makapag-bid out po, may bid out po yung gagawin political survey at mabibigay po sa nanalong bidder, contractor. Kadalasan po, ito pong kadalasan nangyayari, bibigyan po yung pong surveyor ng table survey saka yung charter ng nagpapasurvey, the creation of that province or municipality. Dito na po ngayon pumapasok yung korupsyon. Minamadali ang sasabihin ngayon doon sa contractor kasi bago po maaprubahan ng DNR yung ginawang survey ng contractor, the DNR has to sign. Tama? Ultimately, the DNR has to sign at inaprubahan yung ginawang survey ng contractor. You agree? Kasi pag hindi po pinirmahan ng DNR, ibig sabihin hindi siya nag-agree doon sa ginawang cadastral survey, hindi mababayaran yung
Yeah.
contractor.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
Dito po ngayon, tumataga po yung DNR ng 30% commission. So let's say 50 million yung pong contract para sa cadastral survey. Now, bago pipirmahan yan ng DNR kung sino pipirma doon, that DNR personnel will ask for a percentage, at least 30%. Yung iba medyo mabait daw, 25%. Ito po ay nakuha ko mismo sa ilang kontraktor, itong information na ito. So nagiging SOP daw po ay 25 to 30% commission bago po pirmahan yung cadastral survey na ginawa ng kontraktor. Kasi kung hindi magbibigay ng commission, hindi pipirmahan at hindi mababayaran si kontraktor.
Ang manifestation po nila, Senator, Mr. President, is bigay daw nila yung formal complaint nito and then they will prosecute yung tao ng DNR.
That's the reason, paulit-ulit kong sinasabi kanina, meron talaga dapat on the ground yung supervisor na sumasama po sa pagsisurvey, na nag-check po sa mga documents, make sure na properly monitored yung lahat ng galaw doon sa cadastral survey nang sa hindi mapasukan ng korupsyon. Ang nangyayari po kasi sa tuwing survey, cadastral survey, palaging absent po yung supervisor ng DNR para i-monitor po yung the whole process of the survey being conducted. Yun lang po muna. Okay. Now, lapit-lapit na po tayo.
Sana po may mag-complain para naman in fairness to the management of DNR sa taas, makaprosecute sila para ma-discourage.
Yes.
Kasi alam nyo, pag hindi tayo nag-prosecute or mag-try tayo to teach a lesson, lalo mangyayari yan. Kailangan may maparusahan para ma-discourage yung gagawa niyan.
Yes. But I already told the contractors na dapat sila ay pumunta sa hearing at isasalang ko po sila at sila po ay maprotektahan but they turn it down.
Yeah.
For reasons na very obvious, which hindi ko po sila pwedeng persahin. Mr. President, Madam Sponsor. Now, pumunta po tayo sa Oceana Gold. Ito po yung sabi ko kanina na pupunta sana si Madam Secretary doon sa Oceana Gold Mine, pero hindi na siya tumuloy sa helicopter kasi nga may konting skandalo. Ayon po sa Institute for Policy Studies, Mining and Mining Watch of Canada, ito po ay third party from
Di ba
abroad.
yung Oceana Gold is Australian?
Oceana Gold is in Nueva Vizcaya.
Canadian ba, Oceana? Australian-Canadian. Alam ko
Yes, Australian-Canadian. Kaya nga po, yung Mining Watch Canada, okay, mismo, naggawa sila ng investigation and they found out na merong 10 violations ang Oceana Gold na dapat hindi na po ma-renew ang kanilang license. Ang nangyari,
Renew yan.
sa halip na wag na ma-renew, na-expand pa.
Ang nag-renew yata po niyan, national government, DOF. It's not DNR. I remember that Sinabi yan na na-renew yan.
Actually, na-renew to nung bago sa term ni Secretary Loizaga.
Oh, pero hindi rin yung DNR ang nag-renew niya. Presidente, hindi DNR.
I know, but
Kasi very important yun kasi relationship natin with Australia and Canada. That's how I knew it, na-renew because we want to have good relations with the countries where the investors are coming from.
yeah, we need good relations, Madam President. Mr. President, Madam
Ngayon
Sponsor.
sila
Yeah, we need
nagsasabi
good
na-
relationship with those people abroad, but we need good relationship also with the environment here
Yes.
in our country. Okay. Now, there are so many FTAA violations, grounds for cancellations that were mentioned nga nito pong Mining Watch Canada and Institute for Policy Studies. They found out conformed to laws and regulations regarding, among others, labor safety, demarcation of the exploration contract, etc., recognize and respect the rights, customs, and tradition of indigenous tribals. Number 3, to the extent reasonable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 po grounds for cancellation at para hindi na po sana ma-issue ng ECC dahil yan po ang position ng provincial government ng Nueva Vizcaya.
Yeah.
So sana po hindi na po na-expand. Ang nangyari po, na-expand pa talaga. Marami na nga pong tumututol, parang adding insult to injury, even the provincial government of
Okay.
Nueva Vizcaya tumututol na, na wag na mabigyan ng permit, nabigyan, pero it's labas na po sa pay grade siguro ni Secretary ng DNR, pero ang DNR naman ang nagbibigyan ng ECC.
Babasahin ko lang sa inyo yung condition ng renewal. 4 conditions ni require for renewal. And part of the condition came from the provincial government. The company has to relocate its head office to the host LGU. The company has to sell 25% of its gold production to our central bank. Oceana Gold has to put up an additional 1.5% to the Community and Provincial Development Fund over and above the Social Development Management Program. The company has to list with the Philippine Stock Exchange 10%, additional 10% under common shares.
Okay, so natupad po yung sa request
So
ng LGU.
ito po ang condition. So from this, you will realize na nag-require din ang provincial government.
Okay.
Oo. Kaya sila lumalaban. Gusto lang siguro nila ito na bigyan sila ng 1.5% to the Community and Provincial Development Fund
Okay.
over and above.
And they signed a
Okay.
Oh,
Then let's disregard.
They did it. They
Mr.
did
President,
it.
Madam Sponsor, let's disregard for a moment yung sa LGU. How about po yung mga violation tungkol sa water? Toxicity of water, deletion of groundwater, threat to downstream watershed, quantity of water used in the mine, forest, 100% native hardwood trees have died. Ang dami po dito, the list goes on and on. Sa land, illegal conversion. So, marami pong violation.
Sabi po, sino yung nag-conduct ng investigation?
Mineral Industry Council engaged
And
The Mineral Industry Development Council, Coordinating Council, engage someone to find out if there is violation with regards to the water issues. And they found out that there is no violation.
buti pa po itong Mining Watch at saka Institute for Policy Studies, nakita po nila yung mga violations na glaring. Sabi ko nga po, 10, mahaba po to, pwede ko po ibigay sa kay Secretary to.
We will accept that and
Samantalang
they
yung DNR, hindi
answer
nila
that.
nakita
Kunin
yung
mo na
violation.
lang.
How come?
Oo. Yung kasing investigation hindi nakita, maybe you can provide that so they will study that.
Yes.
So to see if there is really
I will provide this document and then gusto ko pong malaman kung na-follow ba ito, kung na-satisfied at na-fulfill na po itong mga kinondisyones nitong third party mula sa Canada, ito Mining Watch, and then Institute for Policy Studies, kung na-fulfill. Kapag hindi po na-fulfill at napa-expand pa po yung mining interest ng Oceana Gold at itong open pit mining at lalong lumawak, then i-defer ko po muna ang budget.
pwede bang i-defer ang budget?
This is open pit mining. This is open pit mining.
Wala na daw po yung open pit mining ngayon, underground na lang. Wala
If it's underground, then
Underground
show me
mining.
pictures. Madam Sponsor.
Alam ko istorya niya talagang
And if I may add, Mr. President, Madam Sponsor, marami po mga nag-protest. Nasaan yung mga number? Since 2014, wow, ang dami po hindi na mabilang. Landowner protested DNR against Oceana Gold, mining, Giant Oceana Gold, fires contractual workers, 50 indigenous people from Nueva Vizcaya and Ifugao. Workers complain unfair treatment of the company. And then July 17, 2009, Masipag supports the protest against Oceana Gold mining. July 26, 2019, stand with People's Barricade against Oceana Gold. April 8, 2020, indigenous community leaders protesting Oceana Gold. October 1, 2020, land defenders are killed in the Philippines for protesting Canadian mining. Group decry violent dispersal of barricade. The list goes on and on. And pinaka-latest dito, okay, March 2, 2023, 77 groups urge Philippines to stop Ocean Gold's mining operations in Nueva Vizcaya. 77 groups, 2023. Yan po pinaka-last. Marami po nag-oppose dyan. And yet, pinapayagan pa rin po sila mag-continue. So, ang gusto ko lang po, sana masatisfy po yung ilan sa mga bagay na nag-oppose po itong mga tao, kung nasatisfy na po yung reason why they're opposing, kung yun po ay nabigyan ng resolution. Because these people will not oppose 77 groups, actually more than 77 groups, 100 groups ang nag-oppose, including groups from abroad. They will not oppose if there's no violation, if there are no violations at all. So, gusto ko po, may pakita ninyo na yung mga inireklamo, ilan sa dito, ay na bigyan po ng solusyon, na aksyonan. Ang nangyari po kasi, lalo na expand po yung operations ng Oceana Gold. Yan po yung nakakainit ng ulo.
Sabi nila it was renewed for another 25 years but it was not expanded. The same place, hindi na-expand.
Well, I'll give you a map. Siguro para mas mapabilis tayo.
Okay.
We have a map that shows that it was expanded. Okay.
You know, in the Philippines, 9 million hectares has metal. So that is really a very malaking treasure ng Philippines. At ang yung 9 million hectares na yan, hindi mo tinanggal ang metal, it cannot be an agricultural land kasi hindi titubo ang halaman pag may metal sa ilalim. So napakaganda na alisin natin yung metal at in-convert natin na agricultural land. At yung metal na yon, ang worth daw niyan, $3 trillion? Batang ganon, trillion of dollars na siguro kailangan din ng Pilipinas para maging mayaman ang ating bansa. Katulad po ng Saudi Arabia, yung kanilang Maharlika, yung equivalent nila ng Maharlika Fund, nanggagaling po yun sa kinukuhang oil nila. Nilalagay nila doon para pag naubos na yung oil, meron naman silang fund na magagasta para tulungan yung bansa nila. Parang ganon. So, itong ating metal deposit na to, napakalaking riches para sa Philippines. Kaya, as long as you do sustainable mining, walang masama na mag-mining. Kasi, ang laki ng maia-add sa ating resources ng Philippines. Ang ayaw lang natin yung mga illegal miners. But if magagamit natin yung mga sustainable miners, then it will be an asset to the country. Kasi naandyan na yan eh. Riches natin yan na makukuha natin eh. So, kailangan lang paggawa natin, katulad ko ikaw ay miner, at kukunin mo yung metal, tapos i-restore mo at gagawin mong agricultural land. At tuturuan mo yung mga tao doon how to plant and how to make it a successful farm afterwards. So, walang masama sa mining, basta tama ang practices ng mining.
Yes.
Sustainable mining.
I do agree with you, Madam Sponsor, 100%. Believe me, I don't have any problem with mining at all. Me personally, responsible mining. Pero pag yung isang mining site, inireklamo ng napakaraming tao, kasama na yung IPs, then there is a problem, dapat wag ituloy yung sa site na yan, then maghanap ng ibang site. In fact, marami naman mining companies na hindi nireklamo, only this Oceana Gold, tad-tad po ng reklamo, so bakit natin pagpipilitan kung marami ng mga kababayan natin ang reklamo dahil napiperwisyo, kasama na po yung ating kalikasan. Again, I don't have any problem with responsible mining at all because I know, just like what the sponsor said, nakakatulong sa ating economy yan, nakakatulong sa employment, etc. However, we have to do it responsibly na wag naman at the expense of the environment, at the expense para ma-displace yung ating IPs, para ma-exploit po yung ating mga lupain at masisira po yung ating tubig, ilog, mga puno, etc. Yun po yung point ko. And again, I don't disagree with you na kailangan din natin yung mining. Pero dapat responsible mining at dapat sa tamang lokasyon. At kapag marami po nagreklamong mga Pilipino, pakinggan po natin. In fact, pati po yung mga foreigner, a third party na gumawa po ng auditing, sila mismo ay nag-oppose na hindi dapat ituloy yung Oceana Gold, pero pinagpipilitan po natin. Madam Sponsor. Okay na tayo po dyan. Now, last but not the least, ito na po yung sinasabi nyo kanina. Masungi Conservation Area, Ancestral Domain.
Sabi sa'yo, last but not the least, the Masungi. Ito. Okay.
Bakit po pinayagan ang isang wind farm na magtayo doon po sa Masungi Conservation Area na meron pong ancestral domain issue?
Talaga pong there's something wrong with the contract with Masungi. Kasi hindi ho pwede yung perpetual.
No, I'm not sorry. Let me interrupt. Para hindi na masayang oras natin. I'm not talking about Masungi Foundation. I'm not talking. Mamaya na po natin pag-usapan yun later. What I'm talking is just the Masungi Conservation Area. Not the foundation. So, despite the fact na ito po ay declared as ancestral domain at meron pong nagkiklaim ng mga IPs at under proclamation number 1636, it was declared as a sanctuary, wildlife sanctuary and game preserve at hindi po dapat pwedeng panghimasukan ng anumang commercial activities, explorations, exploitations, etc. Dahil marami po mga ibon dyan at mga halaman na endemic po sa Pilipinas.
In 2020, a proposal to measure the potential of wind energy was given a clearance by the family of 16 classes. Just measure them.
What are we talking here about the wind energy that they want to do in Masungi?
The wind farm,
Mr. President.
the Vena, Mr. President, Madam Sponsor, the Vena Energy is what I'm talking about. The Vena Energy that was given permit by PAMBI to put up their structure.
Ano yun?
Yung METNAS po is measuring.
In fact, if I may add, while you're doing your research, DNR Administrative Order number 33, okay, May 10, 1993, Masungi Rock and its vicinity, specifically bounded by longitudes 121 degrees, 17 degrees to 121 degrees, 21 east, west, anyway, etc. It says here, declared a strict nature reserve and wildlife sanctuary in accordance with the provision of RA 7586, otherwise known as National Integrated Protected Area System Act of 1992. At wala pa pong bagong DAO or Department or DNR Administrative Order or na magsusupersede nito.
Sabi po, wind
It was signed
energy.
by Mr. Secretary Alcala. I'm sorry, Madam President.
Mr. President, sabi po yung wind energy is allowed because it's
Multiple use.
renewable energy. But wala pa daw permit yan. Parang mag-i-study pa lang kung ano yung potential ng wind energy. Yun lang ang ibinigay nila. They cannot operate yet. Parang yung PAMBI, ang ibinigay lang is a study of the potential of the wind energy in Masungi.
No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't be. Dapat in the first place, wala pong gagawing study doon kasi naghukay na po eh. Marami na pong structure doon. And I have pictures to show. Where are the pictures?
Ang sabi po nila, yung PAMBI, binigay lang is to determine the wind energy. May conflict po eh. Ewan lang natin kung yung binigyan ng permit to measure the potential of wind energy, kung dinisobey nila na nagawa na sila doon, pero it is based on a study lang.
Madam President, meron na po mga struktura doon, nag-umpisa na sila na maglalagay ng
Part ba yun ng Masungi?
wind farm doon.
Yung nilagay daw po doon, hindi part ng Masungi, sa Pililya daw yun. It's not part of the legislated protected area. Yung
Yes.
pinaglagyan ng mga improvements na yun. It's beyond the legislated protected area.
I'll help you, Madam Sponsor. What happened was, ginamit ng PAMBI yung Section 25 ng Republic Act 11038, E-NIPAS 2018 as amended. What does it say doon po sa Section 25?
Kasi yun ang kanyang
Special uses with
assumption.
protected
Kunin mo
areas.
yung assumption yun.
So nagkaroon po, because of PAMBI, binigyan po yung PAMBI sa batas na ito, nagkaroon ng amendment na para ideklara kahit isang protected area na into multi-use. And this has to be amended. Kasi it runs contrary to the spirit of the law protecting.
They want
Our
to
environment.
study and investigate what happened because of your contention. Can you give us yung study nyo para, a copy lang of the study so they can investigate kung there was a violation of the law?
The area kasi is a strict protected zone, Mr. President, Madam Sponsor. And having said that, DNR should know better na if it's a strictly protected zone, hindi dapat nila panghimasukan yan.
Nagagalit siya kasi
Hindi dapat nila inisip kahit ba renewable energy na manghimasok yan. I don't have any problem with renewable energy na para mag-proliferate sa bansa natin because me being the chairman of the Committee on Energy, payag po ako sa renewable energy pero dapat ilagay natin sa lugar. Huwag po dun sa mga protected area, especially po na meron pong mga ancestral domain issue na dahil misplaced po yung mga IPs natin na walang mga boses at walang mga kalaban-laban, pinapalayas doon sa kanilang ancestral domain dahil sa ngalan ng development, aka salapi.
The point of view of the DNR is in every protected area, there is a place for strict implementation of the law. they call it the strict protection zone. Tapos there are also areas in the protected area, yung tawag nila multi-purpose, multi-use zone.
Yes.
So hindi naman nila pinayagan doon sa strict protection zone. Doon lang sa multi-use zone.
Exactly.
Oo. Ngayon, kung may other complaints na pinaalis yung mga tao, ganun-ganon, then let's have the complaint and we will investigate.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you very much for that answer, Madam Sponsor. That's exactly what I want you to say. Now, ang nangyari kasi, nagkaroon po ng multi-use zone, classify po ng DNR using Section 25 of the e-NIPAS law as amended 2018 from Republic Act 7586 of the NIPAS Act of 1992. Now, yan po, hindi ko na pwede i-contest yan dahil batas po yan. Okay? I will not contest. However, nakasaad dito, para ang PAMBI ay payagan na mag-classify na multi-use sa isang strictly protected area, kailangan, ito na po yung minention nyo kanina, Madam Sponsor, members of the PAMBI board, which consists of DNR Regional Director, Governor, Senator of the Republic of the Philippines, who is duly registered resident of the province, district representative of the congressional district, mayors, chairperson of barangay, regional directors, DA, NEDA, DOST, DND, 3 representatives from NGO or PO, 1 but not more than 3 representatives from IPs, ICCs, and then 1 representative from the academic institution, and finally, 1 representative from the private sector. Now, gusto ko pong malaman kung nasunod po ba ito na itong lahat ng nakasulat dito sa Section 11 ng Republic Act 11038 2018 as amended ng e-NIPAS, kung nasunod po ito ng pagbigay po ng multi-use ng DNR sa wind farm na Bernas Energy. Bena Energy. Kung nasunod po.
Nandyan
Itong 11
daw po
members.
lahat yan nung magbigay ng permit.
Well, can I see the list kung sino tong 11 na ito na pumayag na
Yeah, we will
ma-exploit po yung ating environment doon po sa Masungi?
Sa amin, yun ng mga local mahilig.
I need the list of those people na pumayag na i-exploit natin itong tinatawag nating Masungi Conservation Area na which is declared as a strictly protected area. So itong 11 members na nag-sign, members of the board sa PAMBI allowing the exploitation of Masungi, I need a list of those people and their signatures. And very important to me is yung pong IPs. Meron po bang pumirma na IPs?
Meron ba?
Meron? I need a list and I need their
They will
signature.
submit to you those who signed.
But right now,
Kasi pero ho yan, I'm warning you that yan, majority wins. Di ba? Kahit na hindi pumirman lahat, kung majority pumirma, panalo yun. Oo.
I know. Pero ang selection process ninyo, kailangan meron pong IPs
Ayun,
doon.
pina-follow.
Kaya nga, paano po sinelect yung IPs? May I know?
Oo.
From the experts?
Baka hindi naman pumirma yung IPs. Alam nyo, miski IPs, naaano din yan eh. Nai-influence din yan eh.
Ay, dapat hindi.
Oh, ay nako. Tell it to the Marines.
Sorry. Tell it to the Marines. Dapat hindi po. Kasi kawawa
ako,
man po yung mga IPs.
sa aking
kulang nga
legislated protected area,
Yeah.
nangyayari yan. Yung mga barangay na i-influence. Eh.
Kawawa naman po yung mga IPs. Kulang nga po sa pinag-aralan, kulang po sa kaalaman.
Sila nga
And then
mababahat
i-exploit po
lang.
natin because we're saying na madali silang ma-influensyahan. Dapat we try to help them to make sure na they will not be easily influenced so that gagawin po nila kung anong tama para sa kanilang proteksyon.
Oo nga, hindi siya maniwala na yung IPs pumirma. Kaya huwag mo na sabihin sa akin, ako alam kong pwede yun, pero siya ayaw niya. Kaya ibigay mo na lang kung sino yung pumirma.
I'll help you. Would you mind if I'd help you?
Yeah. You're very welcome, Mr.
Okay.
President.
Kasi bago po mapili ang isa o dalawa o tatlong IPs na sumama po sa PAMB sa selection process. Number one, dumadaan yan sa Indigenous Political Structure or IPS. Okay? Ano po yun? It consists of tribal leaders that have exclusive right na para magpadala po ng representative nila kung hindi sila mismo ang sumama doon sa PAMB. Number one. Number two, dapat dumadaan po sa tinatawag na FPIC, Free and Prior Informed Consent. Process ito na ipapakita na itong IPs were not coerced and were not influenced, just like what the good sponsor said na madaling na influence. Kaya nga po pumapasok itong proseso to make sure na hindi po sila na-influence, hindi po sila na-coerce. Ito po yung FPIC. And finally, evidence to 1 and 2 I mentioned, dapat may certification precondition or CP, documents from NCIP, pirmado na nagkaroon ng tamang proseso at pumayag ang IPs community. In the absence of these three, then invalid po yung pag-recruit nyo ng IPs para maging member ng PAMB's board.
Tingin niya kasi yung influence. If ano naman niya, precondition na yung na kaya ano pinayagan tayo. Ipakita mo naman yung mga papeles mo para makonvince siya. Kasi hindi natin siyang convince. May precondition notion na siya di ba? Mr. President, we will just submit all the papers available to the DNR about the action of the PAMB. We just want to reassure you that it is not yet a permit to operate the windmill. It's just a study to find out the potential of the wind farm here in the legislated.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, good sponsor. Yes, I definitely agree with you. So, I need to see the CP.
Yes.
Certification of precondition signed by the NCIP. Kahit na testing pa yan, kasi ang nakalagay sa batas, kahit na testing, dapat hindi. Doon sa mga lugar na merong issue sa ancestral domain. Kaya nga po dumadaan doon sa tatlong sinasabi kong steps. Without those, then invalid po yung mga nakapirmang IPs doon. So I need a copy of the CP na pirmado po ng NCIP. Because kanina lang po, tumawag ako sa NCIP, wala po silang pinipirmahan na CP allowing the exploration, the testing of anything whatsoever commercial doon po sa Masungi Conservation Area. Now, if you cannot show me CP, again, I will defer the budget of the DNR in favor of the IPs.
Can we defer? Do we have time to defer?
Wait. If the sponsor has a query, we suspend session first.